We're in the $85,000 2023 Volvo XC90 T8 Recharge. This has been upgraded for 2023. I'm going to tell you all the upgrades about it and if it's worth the $85,000 for a 3-row luxury people mover. Let's go. All right, it starts under the hood. Those are the main upgrades for 2023, so let's do it. The hood opens up like almost 90 degrees. It's absolutely ridiculous. So we have a 2-liter direct injected 4-cylinder turbocharged engine. They used to supercharge it. They got rid of the supercharger. Also, we have 312 horsepower here and 143 horsepower from the electric motor in the back. So the electric motor in the back gives you more power than before, and you also have a bigger battery pack than ever before as well. So you'll get about 35 miles of EV range, but I got about 39 miles in my testing. Combine those, about 455 horsepower now, and it'll take this massive 3-row people mover to 60 miles an hour in just 5 seconds.
It looks so crazy.
Oh, the engine?
Yeah.
Well, Volvo, so this is the 2-liter engine, and Volvo has like this patented technology that's like a cushion. It's like a pillow that sits on top of the engine to heat it faster, but also to reduce all the vibrations and noise. That's why when we're driving it, you never feel or hear the engine unless it's like full pedal down. So let's talk about the exterior. This is the bright design. You can also get the dark design where it darks out the grille, the roof rails, the window surround. This is also the blue denim color, and the car hasn't changed a whole lot since 2016 when it came out. We still have the Thor's Hammer daytime running lights, and this is the Ultimate Edition, so it has the largest wheels. If we come over here, you're gonna see these massive 21-inch wheels. The lesser Recharge models can have 20-inch wheels, and then even on like, if you don't get the plug-in hybrid, you can get all the way down to 19-inch wheels on like the B5 models, for example. Now, this is your charging port. This will charge the battery. It comes with a level 1 and a level 2 charger with the car, so that's nice. I've charged it with both of them. Overnight, it'll charge it up on the level 1, and level 2, it'll charge in about 4 hours. So I think they say 3.5 kilowatts of charging for level 2 peak, and that charges the battery, like I said, in about 4 hours. All right, so we also have this small little detail at the bottom that lets you know that this is the king of the XC90s. This is the Recharge model. That is at least until they come out the EX90, which will be alongside this vehicle, and that will be fully battery electric. That should be coming in the next year or so. Let's come around to the back. We have the iconic D-pillar taillights. That is a Volvo signature, and I just love the detail in it, the striations that go side to side. You don't see any exhaust tips back here. Very clean, very elegant design, Volvo lettering back here. And then you have the small badge, T8 all-wheel drive Recharge. All-wheel drive, of course, is standard on all the Volvo XC90s nowadays. Lifting this up, of course, we have an automatic lift gate. It does have the little kick sensor on it as well. Cargo space, it's not world-class cargo space. It's around 12.5 cubic feet behind this 3rd-row seats, which we're always using. This, well, not always, but we used it this morning to drop off the older kids. So what does this mean if you're going to a store with the seats loaded up is you're gonna have to get creative. We threw the toilet paper between the seats. We used every nook and cranny in the car, plus this cargo space. Just keep that in mind if you have really big families. You might need some more cargo space than what this car offers. Under here is where the charger typically sits. You also have the adapter here to plug it in to the 240-volt system. We also have air ride equipped on this model, and you can adjust the height of the vehicle back here. But I have it disabled in the menus because I'm not a big fan of the air ride. So let's go ahead and get into the back seat here. Doors open nice and wide. The Ultimate has sunshades, which is great. This has a Bauer Wilkins sound system, sounds great. I think it's like a $3,000 option, something like that. It might be worth it. It is fantastic, but the base Harman Kardon system is going to be good enough for 99.9% of the people out there. So this has the wool blend seats on it, and they're not only in the front seat, they go through all throughout the rear seats as well. But I'm going to take the camera because I need to show you guys the back seat, the 3rd row. The 3rd row does have vents on the pillar, but it is pretty limited back there, even though the seats are so gorgeous. You have speakers above them. You have a nice headliner in here as well, a nice soft headliner. But there are no USB-C chargers or USB-A chargers for the back seat, so you'd have to run them probably from right here. You also have outboard heated seats here, and this is the best way for the kids to get into the back is fold down the center seat here. Otherwise, we can't really move the seats with kids in them. The panel roof in here is standard. I love that. It's even standard on the base grades of the plug-in hybrid. Actually, even the non-plug-in hybrid, the normal B5, B6 comes standard with this panoramic roof. Hard touch on the back of the seats, but at least we have mat pockets on each side. And there's a good amount of leg room back here if you are putting adults. I think adults would be perfectly happy in the second row, small kids in the third row. That's what we use it for. But let's go ahead and get in the front seat. Inside the XC90 Ultimate Recharge, well, this one has the Bowers & Wilkins. It just looks so cute, I guess. Very elegant and minimal. Lets you know you have a nice sound system in this car before you even hear the notes coming through the speakers. The speaker grills are also pretty nice on the doors, a nice aluminum finish to it as well. The Ultimate also comes with a head-up display. Your Google Maps directions pop up on the head-up display. Super convenient, very bright, very clear. A little warning came up that let me know I didn't close the hood all the way, so that's good. It said do not drive, that's great. Also Google Maps, so we have Google built in here, works great. We took it to Sarasota and back, and it's super easy, and it also doubles on this screen back here. And there are no buttons for climate control. You have to press this small bar at the bottom, which is overly small. Sometimes it's hard to press it and then get into your climate control settings here. This one with the wool seats only has heated seats, and the heated steering wheel comes on, I think the plus grade, it doesn't come on the base grade, but of course you get it on this Ultimate grade as well. Traditional volume knob here, I love seeing that. Volvo's hard touch buttons, there's not much of them. I wish maybe we had more climate control buttons here instead of radio push button like preset buttons, but it is what it is. There's also a button right here that lowers the glove box, and we have a nice felt-lined glove box. I guess I'll press it again. I don't know if you got it on camera the first time.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, perfect. And this brings attention to the wood. The wood is a nice touch in here. It feels great. I want more of it because the dash, even though it's soft touch and it's stitched well, it's just so plain that I wish we had a little bit more elegance here instead of just a drab black dash. But very minimal shiny black plastic. Of course, it has blinded me already, but luckily there's not too much of it to really get me going. We have a secret hidden compartment back here, but we also have a nice wood accordion drawer here, which is just very high class. We typically keep this open for our cup holders. You also have a 12 volt in here. The Ultimate comes with this Swedish crystal knob. It's an iconic piece of high-end Volvos, and I hope they continue to make these crystal knobs for their vehicles for a long time. 360 camera here in the XC90 as well. It works pretty darn well when you put it in reverse. It takes away the 360 camera, then you have to press this again. So I wish you could have both the 360 camera and the backup camera active at the same time. Couple USB-Cs in here, but the kids are getting restless, so let's get on the road. We just dropped the older kids off at school. We got the younger ones with us. It's about 75 degrees outside in the XC90 here. We're driving in fully electric mode. We have about 20 miles left of range, but the most range I've seen is about 39. And I prefer, even though you have one pedal driving in here, you just pop this down and it'll go into B mode. I actually prefer to be in driving mode, especially with the family in the car. I don't want to get anyone car sick because sometimes it's just not as predictable as the amazing brake pedal in here. I want to get the bad out of the way, and then we'll talk about the good things here. All right, so this morning, like I said, I mentioned it's the mid to low 70s. The defrost and the air conditioning won't warm up. So we've had issues with the windshield fogging up, even if it was on max or completely high. Like, the air coming out of here is not warm, and it's at 80 degrees. Like, it feels like it's 70 degree air or colder. So I don't know what's wrong with the climate control in this particular model, but it's had no problem keeping the car cold on hot days. But right now in the morning where we need to defog the windshield, I just can't get this vehicle to heat up for whatever reason. Also, when it comes to the safety features, Volvo really prides itself, but I've had some ridiculous situations in this car that I've had to actually disable some safety features. So lane keeping aid I had to disable because 2 times in a row I put my blinker on changing lanes, no one around me, or at least not to the side of me. The blind spot monitor was not on, and the car forcibly shoved me back into the lane. It was really aggressive. And that could have been very dangerous because I was passing the car in front of me at that point. And so with it shoving me back in the lane, I could have rear-ended the car I was supposed to be passing, but the car shoved me back in. I'm like, maybe that was a fluke. Maybe the sun was hitting the sensors a certain way. And so I did it again, making sure no one was around me, absolutely. And it did the same thing. So I don't trust that safety system at all. Lane keeping aid, completely disabled it. Also, when we were backing out of our driveway, there's a lady walking on our street, and I came to a stop, put the car into drive, and it completely slammed on the brakes. We were nowhere closer. She's probably 15-20 feet away from the car, and it did like the rear cross traffic braking pedestrian detection thing, and that was very like disrupting. It completely slammed on the brakes, shot us all forward, and it was just ridiculous. All right, so I think that's most of the bad stuff out of the way, at least from my end. Cass, you said a couple things about the location of the screen. What are your thoughts there?
Okay, yeah, so I'm not a main fan of the lower eye view, I guess is what it is. It's not at eye view, or at least even cursory view. You literally have to move your head.
Of the screen.
Of the screen.
Yeah.
To see it. So I'm not the biggest fan.
Yeah,
of that.
Right, you do have to move your entire head to see this screen.
And as someone who gets like car sick pretty easily, I'm not a fan.
Not a fan, yeah.
It's hard.
So luckily you don't have to use the screen that much, because we have the Google Maps that can populate here, and then you also, on this Ultimate trim, you have the head-up display that will show you your turn-by-turn navigation as well as your speedometer and stuff on the glass. So it's nice, but like you have to use this for your radio stations and whatnot, and you do have to turn your head to use it. So I know Volvo will fix this situation, and maybe the upcoming models like the EX90, which has a bigger touchscreen that goes up higher, for example. So when this came out in like 2016, I think, or somewhere around there, this was like state of the art, and it's still good. The software in here is great. The Google built-in, it's very snappy. It's just the location could be better. And you mentioned earlier, like, there's nowhere to rest your hand.
Right, there's no resting spot.
Yeah, you kind of have to like grab onto the vent bezel over here and use your thumb like this. So.
And can I also add now, like, with the price tag, it doesn't have massaging seats, and that's really sad.
Yes. So even though we absolutely adore these wool blend seats,
gorgeous.
There's that guy in his stupid Camaro. It sounds terrible. Anyways, yeah, you love your massaging seats.
I do.
These wool seats don't allow you to get ventilation, so it's heated only.
Oh. So
that's maybe a bummer down here in Florida.
Yeah.
But that's the price you pay for this amazing design on the wool seats.
Oh yeah, they're
like,
beautiful.
I think I would, if I was getting this car, I'd still get the wool seats over the perforated leather with the ventilation. Like, they're so comfortable and they look amazing. And we're big like mid-century modern fans.
Oh yeah, they look, yes.
Yeah, and that's why I like Volvo designs in general. They're very minimal, very classic, timeless on the inside as well as the outside.
Yeah.
All right, so there are a lot of positives about this car. It is so like luxurious in terms of the driving and riding experience. Oh, air suspension, it's grayed out. I'm like, I know it's in the setting. You can't play with it while you're driving. You have to be at a stop for you to play with the air suspension. But yeah, I turn off the setting for easy entry and exit because it's kind of loud, the air suspension, and yeah, I just prefer it to be predictable. I also prefer to have the steering feel firm, and I turn creep off because in like low traffic situations, it turns into one pedal driving without being in the B mode here. Even though the car prefers to be in fully electric mode when you have electric range, when we were driving to Sarasota for a family get-together, it saves the range for efficient time. So you'll plug an address into the Google Maps, and then it'll have a little icon around the battery saying it's going to preserve the battery for situations along the way where it's most efficient to be in battery mode. So it's really smart, it's really intelligent, and allows you to have the most efficient driving experience out there. Around town though, of course, that's completely unnecessary. You're just going to be driving in electric mode, assuming you can top it off at home. If you don't have a house and you're buying a plug-in hybrid, that doesn't make any sense to me. You got to own a home, or at least have a place where you live where you can charge it overnight. In terms of ride quality in here, I think the air suspension does help. I still wouldn't pay the extra $1,800 or so for the air suspension, but I think it does help with the ride quality, and it's just so smooth, so quiet, very luxurious. And I know we're dealing with morning traffic here, but like I've thrown this around some turns. The wide tires really help make this vehicle feel planted in the turns. It does handle quite well. And it's fairly firm when you push it in the turns too. So I dogged on the safety features hard, but there's actually one time where it helped us. There's a truck pulled over on the interstate and there's a girl walking around the truck and people were slamming on the brakes going about 80 miles an hour. And so, yeah, I was hard on the brakes. The car stopped well, but it also applied assistant emergency braking, like pre-collision systems. And that helped stop the car very well to just supplement me. It didn't feel like I wasn't in control, but it supplemented my braking force to make sure we stopped in a safe manner. So obviously that was amazing. I would never disable that feature in this car. Yeah, no, it wasn't like shuddering or anything. It was really, really smooth. No one got car sick from it. It was great. Driving in fully electric mode with this beefed up electric motor for 2023, I never have to tap into the gasoline engine unless I run out of EV range. So it's more than sufficient for around town driving. If you're on the highway, you're probably going to want the gasoline engine kicking on, and it'll do that automatically. So you don't really have to worry about, oh, am I in hybrid mode, am I in electric mode? It's very intelligent. And yes, you have different driving modes where you can customize that a little bit and how it behaves, but out of the factory in its default modes, it's perfect. So 85 grand for the Volvo XC90 T8 Recharge Ultimate with the Bowers & Wilkins, with the air ride suspension. Is it worth it? It depends on the person. You really have to enjoy the design of the vehicle. You have to make sure you're plugging it in often to take advantage of its smooth electric side and its efficient electric side. With 455 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 5 seconds, you're gonna have a ton of power as well, and it sounds good. I know I can't really show you in traffic, but this is kind of a real world situation. You can't really ever use 455 horsepower on the streets for the most part. There are 2 grades below this. I think I would probably end up getting the Plus model, and all the models come standard with the Pano roof. So I think I'd get the Plus model. I don't need the Bowers & Wilkins, even though it is just amazing. You know, when I'm in a family vehicle, I don't really ever have a chance to listen to the radio because we have kids always needing to talk to us. So anyways, we really like the Volvo XC90. It is a big investment for sure. And it is not perfect, as we found out with the safety features, just unpredictable. Right.
That's scary. You can fit a stroller in the back.
Maybe. Yeah, not really. I mean,
couple of car seats.
Yeah, like it's good for smaller families too. Two to 3 kids max. We have 4 kids and it just barely works for us. So, but we're signing out from the Volvo XC90 T8 Recharge. I'm excited to drive the EX90 for Volvo, the fully electric version, because I think it'll be able to rectify a lot of this vehicle's shortcomings. It'll have better safety, it'll have better interior space for people as well as cargo. And it comes at a similar price point, around $80,000. So I think that is going to be a better choice for most families, unless you need to take road trips. And that was super great for us this weekend when we traveled out of town.
Thank you, Volvo.
Yeah, thanks Volvo. We really like this vehicle, and we can't wait for the EX90 and see how much or if we like that vehicle better than this one. So anyways, I'm gonna sign out being really comfortable in these wool blend seats. Cass, thank you for thanks for filming, and got to cut it off before the kids overtalk me for the rest of the day. So thanks guys, peace.